We are live.
There we go.
Hello, everybody.
There we go.
Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. And I feel like you got our camera too far up. Can you turn it down some?
I just walked in here and sat down. I haven't done anything. Let me see here, guys.
It just looks like, yeah,
How about
that's
that?
better. That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry. It just looked like we're sitting so far back or something.
Way back in the back. Okay.
So, did everybody have any weather?
I've been looking at the chat here for the last 2 or 3 minutes. It looks like a lot of people are having rain now. Some of it's just ending.
And I saw some had a little bit of hail. Some had a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain.
We had a lot of rain. We had some heavy rain, not to go along with a lot of rain.
It actually thundered and lightened a lot.
Yes,
the
it did.
lightning was continuous. It wasn't just lightning one and wait a while and lightning again.
No, it was a literal electrical storm.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
what they call an electrical storm.
So, we've got a video coming up Monday.
Yes.
About everything that went on here at Deep South overnight and this morning. And so we're not going to cover that too much, but I did want to show you the pond.
This is what it looked
like.
The
lake. This is our lake.
It was a lake today. Yeah, and this is after it went down.
Yeah.
So,
this was down. This was a couple of hours after it went down some. So
yeah,
it had a lot of water come into it. And I don't have a picture of the front one. I just took one of the back pond. And then this was behind the pond. So Danny's culvert worked.
Yeah, and putting the rocks like I did and all that worked out very good. The ground cover that's underneath it, the fabric material, the rocks, all that turned out to work really good. So,
we do have a video coming Monday.
Yeah, we have a video.
Shot some video, so we'll kind of get in and let that one just kind of slide for now. But we're here. Everything's fine. So, what else?
Oh, well.
Oh, I got to tell them.
Okay, what are we telling them?
Y'all, Danny's always telling this story about Mr. Heber and his wife.
Oh, ha, ha. Okay.
And today, y'all, I turned into Mr. Heber's wife. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I've always laughed at the story, but today I turned into his wife. So you want to tell them what Mr. Heber's wife used to do or did to him one time?
Well, in order for them to understand, I tell them the story. Years ago, this has probably been 30 years ago now. I had some neighbors that lived next to me in another county. They were two elderly people, in their mid 70s, and the gentleman was probably one of the greatest neighbors I've ever had in my life. I mean, he just was a sweet man. His wife was very sweet. His wife did not drive. He done all the driving. I heard just hollering one day from my house. Now, you got to realize they live a pretty good distance from me, but I could hear his wife hollering. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So I kind of like took off in that direction. And when I started getting close, I heard a lawnmower running. And I was like, but I could hear her hollering. And I was like, well, he's on the lawnmower. He don't hear her. And I kept going. And then I got closer to him. And I looked, and she was standing in the yard with her arms, just throwing them up and down in the air like this, going, Heber! Heber! That was his name, was Mr. Heber. And I was like, what is she doing? And he finally stopped the lawnmower, and he switched it off, and he said, what do you want? And she said, you're mowing down all my flowers. And he said, well, I'm going to use his exact words, and y'all pardon my French, but he said, you ought to weed the damn things in, So I kind of got a kick out of it. I started walking back to the house and dying laughing. Well, I think Wanda must have experienced the same thing today.
I went out to our hugelkultur bed today and was looking at it, and I've been weeding little spots around on the property that we get it once a year if it needs it or not. And the hugelkultur bed we're letting grow up in grass for the most part, and Danny's got his fruit trees on the backside, so when the rains come, it soaks into the hugelkultur bed, and then the roots from the trees get it. And I went out there and I found an asparagus that come up volunteer. I found not mullein, what is it?
Comfrey.
Comfrey. I found about 5 comfrey plants that had come up, and they were about this tall. And then on the back side of the hugel bed, I found a whole bunch of red raspberries where we thought we had dug them all up. There was a whole bunch coming from a little pieces of root. So I wanted all of that so we could move it. So on the hugel bed, I took and pulled weeds around these little plants about this tall, and I stuck sticks around like teepees around them. And I thought, well, he'll see those sticks and he'll wonder, what the heck is she putting sticks up here? Maybe he'll pay attention. And I was in here working, getting the live stream ready, putting pictures up and all this stuff, and I hear him in the backyard mowing. I'm thinking, oh, okay. I said, and it hit me. I said, oh, if I hear him in the front, I've got to go catch him. I was just working away on my live stream, fixing pictures, and I heard the awfulest crashing sound like leaves, and it sounded like limbs just breaking up, and I thought, my comfrey. And I went outside, and he was headed down, his back was to me, he was headed down the hugel bed, and I'm just sitting there going, really? And when he turned around, I'm going, and he just switched the lawnmower off and looked at me and said, what? I said, I had sticks up for the comfrey. He said, what comfrey? He said, I didn't see any sticks. I was dying out laughing. And I said, I feel like Mr. Heber's wife.
I was just mowing. I mean, I didn't see nothing but weeds, and I was just mowing right down the, I was in a hurry because I knew we had the live stream tonight, and I said, all I could see was weeds everywhere. And I done mowed almost the whole place, and I said, I'd save that for last, And
well, the saving grace is the comfrey will come back out. The raspberries will come back out.
Yeah.
And he missed the asparagus because it was the
only
I saw
the asparagus
thing.
sticking up there. I said, well, I'm not going to mow the asparagus off. I'll leave that, because we can dig it up and move it.
My. So I guess I'm going to become Mr. Heber's wife.
I guess so. But I mowed all of her stuff down. All I can say is you should have weeded it better,
Well, I stuck sticks up about this tall. But the weeds were that tall.
But we just had a storm come through here, and there's little sticks laying everywhere, sticking up, and I wasn't paying no attention to that.
That was funny. I'm telling y'all, the man loves to just mow. If you don't put anything, you don't tell him where it's at, because it's going to get cut down.
I'll mow it up.
He always does.
Well, we've had a lot of stuff going on this week.
Yes. I thought I'd back up and show them Easter right quick. I know y'all may want to ask questions. We'll get to questions after a while.
Yeah.
I wanted to show them a little bit about our Easter. We don't really celebrate Easter, but after lunch last Sunday, or for lunch, I guess, we went to my daughter's house. And this is 4 generations. This is my mom and me, my daughter Amy, and her daughter Faith. Amy is my oldest. I'm the oldest of Mom's kids. Amy's my oldest, and Faith is her oldest. So it's 4 generations there. And then this is all of Amy's children. She has a channel called
Raising Roni. She's on here.
Yeah, Raising Roni. She's in the chat. And then Faith has a channel called Chasing Rabbits. She and Hope do a little channel called Chasing Rabbits. This is one of my sons, Eli. This one is Jesse. And my daughter, Maggie. And I didn't get Maggie's family, all together for whatever reason. She was late getting there because she had to go home and get some stuff and come back. And so we had the kids, but she was later. And then, so I got Brianna, Cade, Abby. And my picture got a little off with Abby, but y'all can see Abby. I knew I should have checked. And Natalie. So we had a great time last Sunday with the kids. We don't do that very often. That's probably the first time in a long time.
A long time we got together with the whole family.
Last year was kind of a weird year. So
yeah, we had COVID last year.
I have 5 kids. Amy has 7, and Maggie has 4. So
yeah,
and Jesse and Eli have none.
Yeah,
and my oldest son John has 1.
It would take a mall for us to social distance.
A football field.
It would take a football field to social distance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, you want to talk about the little gifts we got this year?
Oh yeah, you got a gift this week. Look at this, guys. One of the subscribers sent this to us. Isn't that beautiful?
Julie.
Miss Julie? I think that is so pretty.
And I'm going to put this, I'm debating whether to put it at the cabin.
Oh, I should go at the cabin.
I think it probably should go at the cabin.
We have lots of bluebirds here. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
the bluebird will actually live in it, because right now they're actually nesting. We have them around here.
Is that the right size for a bluebird?
It probably is. Looks like pretty close to the right size.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to take that to the cabin. On one of our live streams, I think it was a live stream, we were talking about wild lettuce, and Karen sent us a bag of wild lettuce to use. So I'm going to be making tinctures and stuff out of that later.
Yeah, we'll have to use some. We don't have any. What does it take? Vodka to make the tinctures?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any vodka right now. We're going to get some vodka to make the tinctures with the wild lettuce.
So that's something that I used to do years ago. I haven't done any tinctures in a long, long time, but sometimes it's better to wait until you need some and make it. I mean, not wait till you need it, because it takes 3 months.
Yeah, you don't want to wait till the last minute.
But I don't like to make it up and have a lot of it long periods of time. I'd make some and then make some more. And this week I got in Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends. This is the chicken. I didn't have these to show when I did, because she was waiting on her labels. This is the swamp mix. And this one is the pork. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but so that is hers. If y'all want to check out Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends on Etsy. I've been using it on everything, y'all. Really.
Firefly Wood says she has mulberry hands today. I don't know.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
See ours, we got mulberry hands too. You can't get it off.
It's no wonder our mouths aren't.
Really, because we've eaten so many mulberries today. Miss Wanda's got some ready for freeze drying, don't you?
They're in the freeze dryer.
Okay, they're in the freeze dryer now. We picked and picked and picked. We shook the tree. We've done all kinds of stuff. And
Daddy was in the tree.
I actually climbed up in the tree to pick some of them. Probably in the morning, we're going to go lay tarps down all under the tree and just leave it laying there throughout the day. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're just going to shake the tree real good and try to pick up
as many as we can.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll pick up as many of them as we can tomorrow.
Those things are so sweet, y'all. This is the first time we've had very many of those mulberries. Last year, I think, is the year that we got none. The tree had them and it blew them all off.
The birds came in, right? Remember we sit here and watched the cedar waxwings. They came in and cleaned them up in like one day.
They were just getting ready, and we were planning on picking them, and we were sitting on the desk, and on the deck, and we just saw them come in.
Yeah.
And in 5 minutes, they left, and we had no mulberries. Not one. Something about our frogs is loud. I sent some sound in your email. Yes.
Yes, we have. I saw a frog today that across his eyes must have been about 3.5 inches across his eyes, and he must have been 12 to 16 inches long. He was just huge.
Yeah. Somebody's asking when Miss Lippy's blends work on jerky. Yes, you can. They're not very hot. Somebody else is asking that. That's what you. These are just not hot at all. They've got a touch of spice, but it's not like you're putting hot stuff in your mouth. It is wonderful on vegetables and stuff. I've tried all 3 of them, and I've tried the chicken on chicken. I don't have any pork. I put the pork on veggies.
Yeah.
I'll get some pork and try, but I like it on veggies. So that's usually what I do. But we also got something else.
Look at here. This here, we got 3 Asian pear trees from a subscriber. Mr. Jack sent us 3 Asian pears, and we got them planted just the day before all this weather come in, which was really, really good. We put them in the ground, and it helped us settle them down in there. The rain hit them just perfect. And I was a little worried that the wind might blow them over, but it didn't. It actually seeded them in the ground real well. So they are doing fantastic so far. They already had leaves on them, as a matter of fact. Now, we was a little concerned about that because the roots were pruned back to almost no roots at all on the tree.
That was kind of odd. We had never seen that. This is from fastgrowingtrees.com.
Yeah, fastgrowingtrees.com. I've never seen a tree pruned with no roots on it. All 3 of them were like that. And it kind of concerns me, but we're going to keep them watered, and hopefully they'll pull out and do pretty good.
I saw somebody asked, have I used the juicer steamer for mulberries? I have used it in the past couple of years. That's one thing I do with mulberries is I put them in the juicer steamer, I make my juice, and then I make jellies. But this year, I'm going to have a video coming up shortly. I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be freeze drying them, and we're going to taste test them. They're in the freeze dryer now, and we're going to see what happens.
Cliff says, Danny, what is your opinion on drip tape for raised garden beds? I think it's great. If you've got it, trust me, it is well worth it. The drip tape has an emitter about every 12 inches. Once you get it put in the bed, you can turn it on and you can see where the bed gets wet at, and that tells you exactly where to put your plants. If you want to put them close to the water, if you want to put them in between the water, you can do that also. But I think that it's a really good deal. It makes watering really simple, especially if you have it on a timer.
Yeah. Somebody.
Yeah,
I don't know what mulberries look like. Hold on. We have pictures. Let me find mulberries.
Do we have mulberry pick? Here we go, right here.
Actually, the thumbnail is me picking mulberries today. So the thumbnail has a picture of the mulberries, but these are some. I rinsed them off yesterday. I went out and picked some up, and they had fallen. The wind was blowing a lot of them off, and I just rinsed them all to get the sand because we have a lot of sand. So what is a juicer steamer? It is a stainless steel pot. It's actually 3 pots. The bottom pot you put water in. The center pot has like a funnel and holes in it. And then the top pot you put your berries in, and it has holes in the bottom. And the water steams up through the middle pot into the top pot, and then the juice drops back down into the center pot. It's kind of weird, but it works.
Country Homestead Preacher says, do you know anything about the arborvitae trees for privacy? Yes. It's what the rich people plant. They grow very well. They're really expensive usually unless you find a really good vendor and get them, unless you buy them tiny or something. But now if you get to 3 or 4 foot ones, they can be up to $50 a tree. But they make a fantastic privacy fence if that's what you're interested in, and they grow really fast. So if you got good soil, it makes a fantastic privacy fence.
Somebody wants to know when's the best time to plant the fruit tree.
Fig trees.
Fig tree.
Anytime. As long as it's not summertime. Up until probably now would be a good time to plant one. I wouldn't wait too much longer in the year if I was down south. Now, if you're up north, you probably got another month, but down south, you probably be at the peak of time. Right now is when they need to be in the ground.
Okay, somebody's asked about mulberries. Now, we do have the little tiny mulberries. That's the tree that Danny originally had when I came, and I was picking those little tiny mulberries, and you go around and around and around the tree. I mean, that song, Going Around the Mulberry Bush, Here We Go Around the Mulberry Bush. you just keep going around because you see them. You get on the other side and you see you miss some over there, and you get over there and you see you miss some over there. So I picked those little ones for what, 4 years?
Yeah, at least 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
And then a lady gave us these two that are the giant mulberries, and I don't know what they're called.
I don't know the name of them. She got them out of the swamp, so I don't know.
Yeah, she grew. This is a lady that we got a lot of our starts from several years ago, and these were just little switches. And Danny put them out, and they didn't hardly grow at all. What, 2 years, maybe 3?
2 or 3 years, they just sit there.
And we had the pig pen out there, and the year before we did the pond 2 years ago, all of a sudden they just took off. They went from about what, 2 foot to 4 foot in no time. And when he did the ponds last year, by the time he got through with the ponds, they probably shot up 3 or 4
feet. They were huge.
They just went to growing.
They went to growing. What is my thoughts about a soaker hose for watering in a tunnel? Soaker hoses work great too. I mean, soaker hoses, drip tape, they all basically do the exact same thing, except a soaker hose is a continual watering line, not like a drip tape every foot. The soaker hose emits droplets of water continuously, and whichever way you want to go, both of them work really good.
They were asking about the juicer steamer with strawberries. You can use any kind of berry. I've used blueberries and blackberries, tomatoes. I've even cooked a chicken in my juicer steamer, and it makes the best broth. You have pure, clean broth, and it cooks the chicken in the process. It's awesome. You can do vegetables. You can throw a whole bunch of vegetables in there and make your own vegetable juice. It's great.
T. Holland says, should I hill the sugar cane? Yes, you should hill the sugar cane. Matter of fact, this coming week, if the ground is dried out enough, I will be fertilizing and hilling mine up.
Yeah. And let me think what else we got going on. I'm trying to see
Country Homestead Preacher says, can a very large fig tree be pruned? Yes, they can. That's the one thing about fig trees. You can prune them back. It's best to be done in the fall. So you might want to take that into consideration too. And wait right now. Don't do it right now.
So, talking about harvest, when we harvest things, ours are starting now. I don't know about a lot of other people what's coming in, but every year our first thing to harvest is mulberries, wild blackberries, wild huckleberries, strawberries. All these berries start coming in this time of the year. And so we've been the last few days with the mulberries, but Danny noticed today he walked by the sidewalk and he said, I said, well, maybe the huckleberries will start in the next couple of weeks. He says, no, right there. And I turned around and looked, and there was the sweetest huckleberry on that bush, but it was only one. So over the next couple of weeks, huckleberries will be ready. And what about the wild blackberries?
Wild blackberries, dewberries. The wild dewberries here are turning dark red, so it won't be long until they'll be ready.
And I'll spend all my time over the next few weeks picking berries. That's what I do this time of year is pick berries. But
we was asked a question. Let me get to that question.
Strawberries. I wanted to show them that. Danny's been eating strawberries.
I eat strawberries all day today. I mean, every time I went out to the green high tunnel, I picked strawberries and ate them.
So that's another thing we have coming in this time of year.
The question was asked, that someone in here said, forgot the name, but they said they lost their whole entire garden. Rain washed everything away. Is it too late to plant potatoes? It all depends on where you live at. If you live north, like say zone 7 or higher, it's not too late to plant potatoes. But if you live like in zone 8, 9, or 10, you probably are pushing the limit on it. You could probably plant them right if you did it right now, and they might make.
Okay. How often do you put nitrogen on your sweet corn?
I put nitrogen on my sweet corn when it's 8 inches tall, and then when it's 12 inches tall.
Yeah.
Usually about a week and a half apart.
Christy says, I've never had mulberries, huckleberries, or dewberries. Dewberries look just like a blackberry, only they run vines on the ground. A blackberry puts canes up. So that's the way you tell the difference with them.
Mr. Ferguson said, have you ever made any crabapple jelly?
Yes.
Yes.
My mom made it all the time, and we have a crabapple tree that's just
Yep.
like crazy. Oh, what's a dewberry? Okay, I think I just explained this. It's a blackberry, but it looks just like them, but it runs the ground instead of going on canes.
Yeah, it's on a vine and not on a cane.
You see it a lot in fields and stuff. In the grass, it'll run in the grass all over the place.
Gaussmania said, the rain about laid over all my tomato plants I started this week. That's fine. Leave them alone. They'll come back up. Don't try to stand them up or you might break them off.
Yeah, you have to be. Any advice on getting rid of voles and moles?
Castor beans. Castor beans is the best thing I found. It's usually in a product called Mole Away or something like that.
So with berries and things like that, knowing when to harvest them is usually pretty easy when they turn colors.
Yeah, well, usually when they turn dark purple, they're ready.
They're ready to.
Or strawberries will be red, raspberries will be red. You know.
Yeah, you usually know because they turn colors, but you need to know your berries and you need to know what time of the year. If you wait till mid-June and you go, I'm gonna go huckleberry hunting, you done waited too long because the huckleberries are not going to be in the woods. You have to know the time of the year that they're ready,
Yeah.
and you have to be on it because we have them all over the woods here, but we planted some on the sidewalks and we have some in the yards, and so I walk by and pay attention. I know that they're going to be ready this time of the year. It's what, April?
Yeah.
So sometime in April to the 1st of May, I'm going to be picking berries, so I need to be paying attention. I can't wait till mid-May and decide I want huckleberries. It's too late.
Can you make apple cider vinegar from crab apples?
I don't know.
I don't know about that. They're not very big, and if you did, it'd be some strong vinegar, I imagine.
Yeah, you guys hit the thumbs up too, will you please? It helps us a little bit in the algorithm if you'd hit the thumbs up and comment and share. All right, so another thing we have going on that we're fixing to start harvesting
is, look at this. We have green beans.
This is my first green beans. I had 2 plants come up, volunteer from when I planted them, and they didn't come up earlier. And so they're already making green beans. I picked those and put them in my salad yesterday, I think it was.
Yep, and all of our other green beans
are not going to be green.
Some of them won't be green. Well, none of our green beans will be green except those.
Yeah.
Because the other ones are purple, and then the other ones that we really love is the Cherokee yellow wax beans. Those will be yellow, so we'll have green, yellow, and purple.
And you know when to pick those because they'll turn, the yellow ones will be yellow, but they'll get long. And we usually harvest those before they get before the beans.
Before the bean forms.
That's usually when we harvest our beans.
Somebody asked, I forgot the name, wanted to know how our tomatoes fared. They did pretty good. I think they're going to survive. That beat them down a little bit, but I think they'll be all right.
The blueberry ones had a little bit of sand and dirt on them, and Danny kind of knocked that off, and they started standing back up today. And all his big tomatoes, the celebrities, they were kind of yucky, but they've stood back up.
Okay, question was asked, what's the best way to cover a raised bed? I have a video on that. I don't know the name of it, but what you do is you take PEX tubing. We use 10-foot sticks of PEX tubing, drive 3/8 rebar in the ground every 2 foot apart down a bed, and bend the PEX tubing over it and stick it over the rebar, and then pull the plastic over it and just like lay some blocks on it or something down the side, and it works really great for us.
What type of fertilizer for potatoes and how often?
I fertilize mine with triple 13 fertilize. I do it when I plant them, and then I do it when they're about 10 inches tall, and I don't do anything else to them. I heal them up when I put the fertilizer that last time.
Okay, somebody was asking what these berries taste like. The mulberries, the big ones like we've been picking, once they turn dark, they are very sweet. Now, if they're half and half, they've got a little bit of tart and sweet to them. So we've got some of both going. Huckleberries taste like a blueberry. If you let them get ripe and they turn real dark, The one I got today is like a tiny burst of blueberry in your mouth. So that's what a huckleberry tastes like. Dewberry tastes like a blackberry. If you've ever had a blackberry, that's what a dewberry tastes like. So that maybe that'll help a little.
Somebody wants to know about the average time after you plant a 2 or 3 year old peach tree should you get peaches. It's always been said a tree needs to be about 5 years old to produce peaches, but that's not true necessarily. We got dwarf peach trees from Grower Solutions last year, just little switches. I mean, they weren't very big at all, and they bore peaches the same year we put them in the ground.
This guy, no, it's Christine, said she planted potatoes in raised beds. The leaves, in February 12th, the leaves
Are beginning to turn yellow and some brown spots. Any thoughts? That's usually called a bacterial wilt spot. Ms. Wanda has some doing exactly the same thing.
I'm going to do a video shortly on that, I think.
Should be doing a video explaining a little bit about it pretty soon here.
I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. Any advice on...
It's done going so fast I can't.
Yeah, somebody want to know why you don't use 20-20-20. I think that was.
It's not available where we live at. People here don't have it. They have 8-24-24, but they don't have 20-20-20. It all depends on where you live and what companies produce what fertilizer for your soils. What tomatoes do we like the best? At this point, I like Amish paste for if I'm making sauces or anything like that. And I love the hybrid celebrities. They do the absolute best of any tomato that we've ever grown.
Somebody said, what happened to all the plums? We have plums on the trees. They won't get ripe for 2 or 3 months. It'd be a while.
It'd be a while on the plums.
All our berries start coming in now. And when the huckleberries and stuff stop, the blueberries start. So then we'll be picking blueberries for a while. Our fruit trees, now what would be... When will all the fruit trees? Most of them are later in the summer. We don't have any fruit trees that come in early. All of them's going to be late, midsummer to late.
They'll all start about July and then go to August and September.
So all your fruit trees, you need to know you're not going out in January and harvesting an apple off a tree. You're not going out in May and harvesting one unless you got some really fast-growing apples, I guess. The other thing we've got is the mayhaws. They will come in. They usually come in about this time, but I don't know if we're going to have any or they're going to be late. The mayhaws is another thing. It's like a little mini apple.
Mr. Ray says, is it too late to plant green beans in Tylertown? No, it's not, because we're having to replant ours outside the high tunnels. So, no, it's not too late.
They said Hoss Tools sells 20-20-20. So we might could get it from them. From where do you get your triple 13 and what brand is it?
I don't know the brand of it. It just says triple 13 on the bag. It's we get it from our local feed stores. It's not a particular brand, I don't think.
Somebody's talking about us. They're gonna have to hush.
Yeah.
Do you grow comfrey, and if so, how do you use it? Well, I do, but Danny cut it down today.
I did mow it all down today. I really did.
No, I have some and growing in multiple areas.
We have them in containers over there.
I have a good bit in containers. And I had put some of the block 40 on the hugelkultur bed, and Danny mowed it down today.
Block 14.
14, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, block 14. I have the block 4 in containers.
Okay.
How often should you water a blueberry bush in zone 10?
Blackberry.
Blackberry, I'm sorry.
How often should you water a blackberry bush in zone 10? You're in zone 10B. It's pretty hot there. I would water it at least an inch a week.
A peacemaker says, I got 20-20 from Hoss Tools. How much in advance do I put in the raised bed before planting?
20-20-20 is pretty powerful. That's a lot of nitrogen, and you don't need a lot of nitrogen to start out with. I would probably put, depends on how big your raised bed is, I would probably put a cup every 10 square feet or something like that when I first plant.
Okay.
Firefly Wood said she picked a handful of mayhaws today.
I don't know if ours is going to make. I thought we had some on there.
We had a few, but
the winds keep blowing.
Well, the freeze got it.
Yeah, that's right. The freeze hit them, and then the wind's been blowing so hard till it's wonder anything's on any tree. our favorite cherry tomato. Right now, I'm growing the blueberry tomatoes, which is in the Indigo series. I guess that's one of our favorite. The taste is just phenomenal, but we also like the yellow pear tomatoes.
Old Timers Homestead said, "Oh, Danny, I'd be chasing you down. I don't know what for, but I must have missed something in the chat."
Yeah. No, I have not tried elephant garlic or any kind of garlic for garlic powder. They say that it will make the machine smell
like garlic and you can't hardly get it out.
I'm not ready to do garlic yet. Our big elephant garlic is still in the field right now. If I need some, I just go get it fresh. Don't worry about planting crops too late. Just plant them and pray over them, and they'll grow.
Well, I can't. Some things you can't plant late. That's just like green beans. You cannot plant green beans. You can't plant potatoes too late. Just like you can't plant okra too early or field peas too early. They will not grow.
Yeah. Okra is one of those that you just got to wait.
You've got to have a certain temperature in that soil or it won't grow.
Danny I think one year you tried putting it in pots and growing it early. And it's just not going to do.
It's not going to do it.
Those seeds do not want to do anything till it gets warm. You have to kind of have warm stuff.
Hold on. Not trying to set you off, Danny, but did you see President B start the process to load the Supreme Court? No, I haven't. I have been watching. I've seen the process of Mr. B to about firearm control, our Second Amendment rights. Some of the things he's talking about doing about that, but I don't get to spend a lot of time on the computer, or I don't watch TV at all.
Y'all want to know what he's really doing? He's fishing.
I'm fishing.
He's been fishing. He ain't paying no government nothing any attention. He knows a little. Shadow, thank you. She said he or she said, "Thank you both for the info and efforts you put into your channel. We enjoy visiting. Wish I was your neighbor." I wish we had some good neighbors too. That would be nice. Some good, helpful neighbors.
Do you guys eat a big dinner every night, or do you sometimes just do something simple and easy? I pretty much eat a big supper. We don't call it dinner here. We call it supper. Dinner is what we eat in the middle of the day because we live in the South.
Yeah.
I did a video explaining where the word supper come from. At night when people went to bed, they used to never eat a big meal. They supped. That's where we got the word supper from. And supper is the last meal of the day. Like Christ, when he had the Last Supper, it was done late in the evening.
But Danny eats a big.
But I eat a big supper usually because I have to have protein every 2 hours because of a physical condition I have. And if I don't eat a big supper, I'll be starving to death in a few hours.
And I take it in spells. Some nights I eat a big supper, and sometimes I eat light. It's according to what I ate for lunch. If I eat salad and something like that for lunch, then I'll eat a big supper. If I ate a pretty good sized lunch, then I snack something. Like a while ago, I just had a cheese sandwich. I grilled some cheese. That was it. Mr. John asked about okra.
Mr. John asked, when do we plant our okra? Mr. John, probably what I'll do this coming week is I'll start my okra seeds in my house tool trays. I used to plant it strictly in the field, in the gardens. I don't do that anymore. I try to start it in my house tool trays, and then I transplant it, and I've had very good luck with transplanting because when I transplant it, I can get it evenly spaced, and I know exactly how many plants is going to make it, and it really does good if I do
that. Gerard says in Germany, the big meal was at noon. Yeah, if I'm where I can, I fix like a good size lunch, and then I don't eat that much for supper. But now I'll fix enough that he has supper.
Yeah, technically, if you go back to the old days, now what I call the old days, back in the 17 and 1800s, the largest meal of the day, according to the history I've been studying, was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And because people who had to travel before it got dark to get home, if they were traveling, and had to stay somewhere, so they ate around 2 o'clock. And then when they got through working late in the evening, they would come in and they would take some like bread and some broth or something like that, and they would sup on it. because they didn't want to go to bed on a full stomach. Let's see here.
All right, I was going to show them. This is another thing that
Oh
we're
yeah,
fixing to have ready.
We have those growing. This is the
Gold Prize.
Gold Prize yellow squash from Hoss Tool. Last year we had such good luck with these things. We decided to try them again this year, and they are already kicking it and getting it. We only planted what, about 5 plants this year?
Not many, but this one was this picture was taken a couple of days ago. That thing is almost ready to eat. I almost picked it today, but tomorrow we will start having squash. You want them, what, about this long?
About 6 inches, yeah, 6 to 8 inches. We don't want them any bigger than that.
You don't want to wait till they get big and have seeds in them, because to me they're just not good. Now, you can still eat them if they get that big, but we just don't. Mott's Hill, thank you. Thank you for mentioning my channel a few weeks ago. Love you both. You're welcome, Mott's Hill.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for the super chat.
So squash is one of those things that you don't want it to get too big. It gets piffy and
gets big seeds in it and stuff like that. We like to eat ours when they're young and tender.
Now you can, if they get a little big like that, I take all the seeds out and I make fries out of them if they get that big. I'll see if I've got anything. What else do we have?
They want to know, what do you cook 2 meals for Danny a day or something like that?
Oh, if I fix something, like if I do a roast in the crock pot, he has lunch and supper, or he has supper at night and lunch the next day, and sometimes lunch another day with a roast in a crock pot. But sometimes I'll make a hamburger patty. He doesn't eat the bread and stuff.
I don't eat any bread at all.
He eats the hamburger patty, and I will make up like 4 at a time, and he'll have one for lunch or supper, whichever one that time. The next day he'll have one for that, and over a couple of 3 days he has a hamburger patty, and then whatever else, like if I make chicken or roast, or like tonight he had a steak. We had our beef processed about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so for now he can eat steak.
I eat steak a lot. Okay, everybody keeps asking the question, do I soak my okra seeds before I plant them? And the answer is no. I do not soak my okra seeds at all. That's not necessary. If your soil is moist enough, the biggest thing with okra seed is not whether you soak them or not, it's the temperature of the soil.
Do we ever offer cuttings from our fruit trees for sale? We hadn't really.
No, we never really have.
We just hadn't done that.
Talking about sandwiches, I don't eat bread, period. I live by the motto, the whiter the bread, the faster you're dead, because bread is not healthy for the human body unless it's homemade bread and it's made without all the chemicals that's put in bread today. So I don't eat bread, period.
He don't eat hardly anything but what we've raised.
I only eat what we raise here at the house.
And this was my salad yesterday. If you want to know more about everything that's in it, go watch Crazy Days. That's my channel. I did a foraging video, told you what I put in this salad, but isn't that beautiful? I love to go out and look around the property, see what I have that I can throw in a salad and eat.
Lawrence wants to know, has my plants grown differently this spring?
Loaded question.
Well, all my plants have done fantastic this spring, simply because they've been grown with the aid of grow lights, and they've been in high tunnels, and they've been really taken care of. They've been fertilized well.
If they'd been outside, they'd have went through a heavy freeze.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it outside if we planted outside.
The winds have been ferocious for, what, 2 months now?
Yeah.
Long time. Everything, the wind has just been crazy. So we've just started putting stuff outside, except for the English peas. Then they've been out, but we had to replant them.
One more. So, have I ever used vinegar and Epsom salt and Dawn for weed control? Yes, I have. Works very good. The only thing is, don't get it near a metal fence, because I got it on my fence and it ruined my fence in less than a year. The fence rusted and was almost rotten. So don't get it near a fence, but it does make an excellent weed control. Now, I didn't use Epsom salt. I just used straight salt.
Okay, somebody's asking, do I freeze the squash or have I tried the freeze dryer? Yes, I usually slice them like I would if I wanted fries, and I put them in bags and put them in the freezer. But we can a lot of
We can a
squash.
lot of
I
ours
cut it in
too.
round circles, put it in the jars and can it, and I make squash puppies and squash casserole, things like that out of it because it is mushy when it's canned, but it's good for adding into stuff.
They want to know, do we spray any of our fruit trees? No. We do not spray any of our fruit trees. We have no need to spray them. We don't have any problems right now with anything on our fruit trees.
Right now.
Right now.
I will be trying freeze-dried squash in the future if we have plenty. That's something I will be doing.
Vicky says, Danny, when did you stop eating bread? Gosh, that's been
2 years or better.
But it's been 2 or 3 years ago now.
I was making homemade bread, and he started having some issues with some of the rice flours and stuff. So we cut all that out because I just figured out how to make bread with gluten-free. I have gluten-free recipes in my cookbook, and I had gotten it down to where he liked the bread and it was good. But then we started noticing some issues, so he quit with that rice flour and stuff. And recently we added it back in just to see if I could make him bread, and immediately he started having issues. So we had rice flour is out for us. So
we think it's the xanthan gum and the rice flour that's causing the problem. So, okay, says, hi Wanda and Danny, I never have a good corn crop, but I keep trying. Can you give me a little advice? Well, the big issue with corn is several things. Corn needs to be spaced about 12 inches apart if it's sweet corn. If it's field corn, it needs to be about 16 inches apart. And they're both very heavy nitrogen feeders. Now, don't go with this organic nitrogen. Go ahead and go buy you some ammonium sulfate and put down to that stuff. Fertilize it good, fertilize it heavy, but don't let any of it fall in the top of the corn because if you do, it will kill it. And make sure you heal it up real good. Put the ammonia to it when it's about 8 inches tall. Put the ammonia to it when it's about 12 inches tall. And keep it watered, and that stuff should grow.
How soon can I plant sweet potatoes in Zone 8B Southeast Texas?
You can plant it now as long as it ain't gonna frost no more.
Yeah, we've got some.
We got some that's gonna go in the ground this coming week.
And sweet potatoes is one of those things. When do you harvest sweet potatoes?
You harvest sweet potatoes the day you plant them. Write it on a calendar. Count 125 days in your calendar and make a note that that's the day you need to check your sweet potatoes for digging, because usually in 125 days you can dig them.
And that's probably one of the most asked questions we get. Hey, when can I dig my sweet potatoes? Well, if you didn't write it down, how do we know?
Yeah.
You got to keep up with it.
It's done by the number of days.
But you can always go out and test them.
Yeah.
You can take a plant and test and see how big they're getting.
Do we grow elderberries? Yes, we have elderberries growing on our property down here. If so, do you use them medicinally? We have not had any use to use them. We don't get sick, or we haven't been sick in years.
Not very for that kind of
stuff. Not for that type of stuff,
But they're there if we need them.
Yes, they're there if we need them.
And I probably might dry some this year. I didn't this past year because I let it get by me. And again, you have to know when to harvest elderberries. And we were busy with all kinds of projects last year, and I did not see them when they were ready. I didn't pay any attention.
If you water your corn with fish pond water, do you still need to use ammonium nitrate? Well, first of all, you cannot buy ammonium nitrate. It's illegal. Yes, you still need to use ammonium. It'll be ammonium sulfate if you get it. Yes, you still need to use ammonium sulfate, even if you use pond water.
Never alone said they processed 16 roosters, had to pluck by hand they were basically 9 months old. Will the meat be tough? If you just did it.
If you just done it, do not put them in the deep freeze, because if you do, they will be tough.
Yeah, don't put them in the freezer.
Don't put them in the freezer. They need to sit in the refrigerator for 12 to 24 hours.
Even 2 days.
2 days is even better in a refrigerator, as long as the temperature is around 35 degrees before you freeze them. rigor mortis has to go through their body, and they have to have time to relax, or that chicken will be tough.
Hey, Little Feet Farm. They said, hey, Danny and Wanda, I love you both. Boat. The boat.
Oh, they love the boat.
Yeah. Oh. So, Danny, you did like an elimination diet, and we're trying to reintroduce. Yes.
Yes.
We had to start that because the heart got to doing some weird things over the last few years. It had kept getting worse and worse and worse. And about 4 months ago, it got to the point that he was having problems all day, every day. And so we just started shutting everything back down again.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was using a lot of almond flour. And so we think we haven't introduced anything back yet, except the rice flour. We did introduce that back a couple of weeks ago, and it started an issue. But I was using a lot of almond flour. We don't know if it was that. Too many nuts. What was the other one? There was 3 or 4 things that we stopped.
Well, we stopped the Brazil nuts. We stopped walnuts. We stopped pecans.
We stopped
almonds.
Almond milk.
We
stopped everything.
Everything, yeah.
And so we haven't introduced anything back. And y'all, it's amazing. One of those items was causing him some kind of issues because he hardly has any heart issues. I mean, it's not that he don't have them, but he's not having them all day now.
Right.
So one of those things is causing him problems. And I kind of think it's probably going to tend to be the almond flour, but we're not sure.
Permapastures Farm says, do we take supplements? If so, have they helped? No, we take no medication. We take no supplements. We take no vitamins or anything. We feel like if we raise our food here at home, it's good, healthy food. It should provide everything that our bodies actually need.
Gaussmania said, what could cause the top branch of their pear tree to be bare? Would the cold snap have caused it? It's over 10 years old and fruits every year.
More than likely, it's the cold snap got the top of the tree. That's a pretty good analysis.
Okay, let me show you what Danny's been doing. Now I know that looks like a filing cabinet the way I took the picture, but that's not a filing cabinet.
That's Miss Wanda's canning kitchen. I got her 3 drawers put in. I finally got time to get 3 drawers put in on it today. So she'll have that part of it done. Now all I got to do is start making the doors.
Doors on the sides. But I was standing up over it and took the picture so I could get all 3 drawers. And then when I looked at the picture later, I said, it looks like a filing cabinet. But it's not. Well, I guess technically I can store all my utensils and stuff in there. So it might be a cabinet, filing cabinet. But it's drawers.
Suzy Q says, almonds have pesticides on them, and it's probably the worst thing you can eat. And that's what I kind of come to.
We kind of think that was it.
I think that's what it was. Flaxseed can affect your heart rate also. I don't eat flaxseed at all. So.
Lori says, I have an excess of radishes. Besides pickling, how can I preserve them? Oh, I don't know about preserving, but I know I roasted them and they were really good. I don't know. Why don't you try dealing them? I mean that's basically pickling too. But if you like deal stuff, lots of times people deal things and it turns out really good. I don't know of any other way you could probably do anything unless you probably could slice them and put them in the freezer, but when you take them out, they're going to be mushy. They're not going to be firm.
Do you pre-cook potatoes and sweet potatoes before canning them?
No. Wait.
Yeah, we do
not
for
sweet potatoes.
Not sweet potatoes.
The potatoes I do 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Don't go any longer than 3 minutes because if you do, they will get mushy.
Yeah.
There's been several questions go by.
Y'all have to repost.
One person said that they heard if you have heart problems, do not use walnuts.
And you weren't eating them for the most part, but we had gotten some around Christmas.
I did eat a lot around.
He was eating a lot around Christmas.
A lot of them around Christmas.
So I don't know if it was a combination, but he had been having the issues and it was getting worse for about 2 years. So the walnuts was just added at Christmas. So I don't think that it might have amplified it, but it didn't start it. And he's been eating pecans a lot anyway. And I told him he could have been overdoing the pecans, but
Yeah.
I really think it's the almond flour.
I just realized we didn't do the pop-out chat tonight. That's why it's so hard for me to see it.
Oh, and I knew I'd about forget candy. Hand me one of them boxes down there where I can have something to show. I told y'all I was going to do the candy winners tonight, and I'm going to let it get 9 o'clock, and I ain't even done anything. Yeah. All right, this is Fresh Market Treats, and you can go to freshmarkettreats.com. They sell candy, and they sell all kinds of freeze-dried stuff. They also sell dog treats and stuff for different animals that are freeze-dried, so you can get anything there, but Fresh Market Treats. This happens to be the chicken and waffles taffy. So we're going to be giving away some. I did a video yesterday, I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
And I'm going to announce the winners, and Miss Lippy has the 4 winners, and she's going to put them up, and they can send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com with their address and tell me they were a winner. So the first winner is Pamela Phelan, F-A-I-L-E-N, Pamela Phelan. The second winner is Larry Moore. The third winner is S.W. And the fourth winner is Carrie Cowherd, C-O-W-H-E-R-D. I may be pronouncing that weird, but that's the way I'm reading it. So those 4 people can contact me, and I will get their candy shipped out. We have some taffies and stuff that we were given as a giveaway, to do a giveaway. So we're sending some of that out to you guys. So get in touch with me.
Neverlong Homestead said, got 21 meat birds. When is it time to process? Do I have to wait 24 hours to put in the freezer? You always have to wait 24 hours to put them in the freezer.
We found out the hard way.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way. It doesn't matter if it's a meat bird or whatever kind of bird. Turkeys, you got to wait 24 or more hours before you put them in the freezer. I don't know when you process yours. We did ours at 7 weeks. It all depends on you. If you wait too long, they will be too big, and you might want to make sure you get it done around 7 weeks if they're large enough. Now, it depends on how much feed you've been giving them.
Okay, I'm just looking. Oh, roses. Now, a few weeks ago, on one of our live streams, I was talking about a rose garden, and several of you sent me some super chats to go on a rose garden. So I went that week and bought roses, and I made me a little rose bed out on the back hill so that I can see them from the cabin and from here and from the pond. And that is my first rose. It has bloomed out yesterday, and then it got rained on, and so it's got water all over it, but it's pretty. And that's one of the, I don't know the names. I've got the names stuck with the rose, but I didn't look to see what the names were exactly. This is one that's just budding out today, and I thought, it's beautiful. That's going to be one really pink rose. And then this one is fixing to bloom out, and this is the one that has the yellow and red in it, so it's going to be gorgeous by tomorrow. So I wanted y'all to know, when I say I'm going to do something and y'all send me super chats, that's what I use it for, what I'm supposed to use it for. So I've got roses going, and before long we're going to do.
Does your bone broth gel when you make it? Some broth helps all ailments and heals the gut. Yes, our bone broth, we always let our bone broth sit in the refrigerator overnight so that the next morning we can take all the fat off the top of it, and then we have nothing but pure bone broth to actually can. And it works out really good that way because it will turn into a gel.
Okay, Mary Beth Smith, they're saying pray for Smitty. That is her husband, yeah. Yes.
Can you dehydrate the garlic scapes? Yes, you can dehydrate them, yes.
Garlic chives, onion chives, all that could be dehydrated.
Have you tried the red snapper potato from Hoss Tools?
Tomatoes.
If so, tomatoes from Hoss Tools. If so, how did they do for you? This year? We didn't plant any red snappers.
But no. I mean, I think they sent us some, and I don't think we
I don't think we planted. We was doing the other testing for them, so we got so many tomatoes we can't grow all of them.
Do you worry about cross pollination?
No, because we plant everything about a good 100 yards or more apart.
What kind of camera do you use for your videos? Well, I have a Canon, is it EOS T5i, and that's what we used for a long time. But it was starting to have issues, so I just bought the Canon M50 a couple of months ago, so we're using it. Plus, I have I think it's a Samsung phone, and I do a lot on my phone because if we're out somewhere, I just pick the phone up and shoot, and then I come in and edit it on the computer. I always edit on the computer. Have you ever planted pinto or navy beans?
Yeah. Yeah, I planted them both. Actually, I planted them from the store, and they done fine.
Gotta go do chores. Please continue prayers for
And then for
finding
a
a homestead.
homestead.
Miss
Yeah.
Roy, yes. They found 2 places, but God decided they were not right for us. Okay, we'll keep praying.
We want to know if our backdrop right now is located in the cabin or in our house. This is actually a studio room in our house.
Yes.
This is actually a real wood wall behind us. I mean, it is.
And this right here is
This is a mantle out of a fireplace from the 1800s.
Yeah.
Wanda has it covered up with a blanket thing, but
well, I mean, yeah, I put something up there because I thought it was cute, but yeah, and we've got the iron screen in front of it.
Yeah.
But yet he painted a board black and put in there. We don't have a fireplace in there.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a fake thing because we wanted to use the fireplace mantle.
Mary Beth says, do you do anything special planting blueberries? First of all, is a soil test to make sure that your soil is acidic enough. You need about a 4.5 to a 5.5 pH. If it's not that, make sure you add some sulfur to the soil before you plant it. And fertilize your trees lightly. Do not fertilize them heavy the first year, and make sure they get water at least an inch a week.
Do we have satellite internet? Yes.
Yes, we have
HughesNet.
HughesNet Gen 5.
Mott's Hill says they're using the Wondershare Filmora that we told them about. Yes, I use Filmora. That to me, it's easy, simple. Once I started with Filmora, I just stuck with it. I hadn't changed anything else. I've had it for about 2 years.
It seems to work out pretty good.
Yeah, I tried.
And we don't know all it does because we don't spend a lot of time worrying.
I tried the Pro for a little while, Filmora Pro. And if you start out with Filmora Pro and you learn it, then good, because it has so many wonderful things. But I have just the normal Filmora, and
you got Filmora what, 9?
9, I think. Yeah. And it's simple, easy. I wished I had time to spend on the Pro, but it's got all the bells and whistles. Just saying.
How are we transferring our pictures from our camera to our computer?
I take the card out and stick it in there.
We just take the SD card out and let the computer read the SD card and load it from that.
Yeah, very simple.
You can hook a cable from the camera to the computer and do it, but that's just a lot of headache. Just take the SD card out and just put it in the computer.
Yeah. It's very simple. Yeah. I try to do the easiest thing. We have a computer, Filmora, the Canon camera, and my phone, and that's about it. We don't have lighting and all this stuff. We don't have microphones. I do have them. I don't use them.
We just don't use them.
It takes so much time to set everything up and try to get everything.
Then you have to get voice with words and
video,
and there's all kinds of stuff. If you could get it. You ever see people when they're talking, it's like the old black belt theater movies used to be. They go, I'm going to kick you. And then it's, the words don't match your mouth and stuff like that.
I don't have time for that.
We don't have time to do all that.
I do good to get it edited and up, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the way we roll here at Deep South. It is what it is, huh?
Somebody wants to know, do we have a good plan for weight loss and gut healing and all that kind of stuff? I mean, just eat healthy. I mean, that's get rid of junk food, no sugar, no canned sodas, no coffee, drink nothing but water. I mean,
don't eat much.
That's the way I live.
Drink water and don't eat a lot, and you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at this one.
Look at me. I mean, I'm thin as a bed rail, and I mean, I'm 60-something years old, and I go like the Energizer Bunny all day long, and I even have a heart condition. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I could stand to lose about 20 pounds, but I have no willpower.
Wanda has no willpower whatsoever.
None.
None.
You stick candy in front of me, I'm going to eat it. If I walk through the store, I'm
Yeah.
going to buy something. I'm just going to say it. And
Me, the way I look at everything, I had a former wife that died with cancer. And we'll come out of, if we happen to go to a grocery store or something for something like salt or something we just can't make here, and we come out, Wanda will go, God, that food smells so good from like Wendy's and Hardee's and all them kind of places. You know, I tell her, say, nope, not to me. It smells like cancer, because all it does is gives people cancer. And that's how I look at things. When I smell something or I look at something, I look at candy, I look at Coca-Colas and all this kind of stuff. To me, it looks like cancer, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he don't really eat much of anything other than our stuff. I mean, we do buy a few things, but for him, really no. He drinks water. That's it. And I'm drinking apple juice and our scuppernong juice, and it is delicious.
Are Seedless Berries GMO? I don't know, because I don't know what kind you're talking about, but probably not, because in order to buy GMO stuff, if you're buying something to plant, you usually have to be licensed to get it. But you could buy stuff that's genetically modified, like fruits and vegetables, like the Simplot potatoes, or there's a lot of different apples out there that's GMO. All sugar beets now are GMOs. Papayas are GMO. I mean, there's lots of things that are GMO that's out there on the shelf today.
Fishes and Loaves says, Wanda, I have your level of willpower too. I mean, I honestly have no willpower.
Not me.
None.
I can do without. I look at it and say, no, I won't eat it.
We got to have our coffee. Now, my daughter's like me. She wants her coffee. Her daughter's like her.
I used to drink 2 pots of coffee a day. That was the hardest thing in the world for me to wean myself off of. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks, and I would just sit and shake. My body would sit and tremble and shake. But once I got past it, what I had to do was drink tea in order to break myself from drinking coffee. And then I had to learn how to drink unsweetened tea to get off of the tea. But I finally got off of coffee and tea, and now all I drink is just water.
Yeah, I'm just really cut back on my tea, my coffee. I don't drink tea anymore. I haven't drank tea in years, but coffee is something that I would drink off and on all day. And now I'm doing the Ticino, and I guess I can mention that since I'm talking about it. The blend this month they sent is Southern Pecan, and I have bought some of this, and it is awesome. This is made with figs and dates, and I am an affiliate with them, so I'm going to stick it up there. It's called, I don't know if they can see the title, Teeccino, Ticino. This is made with figs and dates and herbs. It is not made with caffeine. There is no caffeine in this. So what I've been doing the last few months is I drink my cup of coffee in the morning, and then I use the Ticino during the day and late evening. And I can have as many cups of coffee as I want as long as I'm doing Ticino. And so that's cut me down somewhat on coffee and caffeine.
The question is asked, what type of water do I drink? I only drink well water. I will not drink community water. I will not drink water with chlorinated water in it. I do not drink bottled water because it has all types of chemicals in it. Even though it says it don't, I know it's a lie because I've been to the companies where they make it. Well water is the only water that I put in my body. If you see me anywhere,
he's toting a cup of
water.
I'm
toting this right here. I've got 2 or 3 of these with me usually anywhere I go, and it's my water from here at my house, out of a well.
And the only exception to that is if we get off somewhere, which we don't very often, but we have been somewhere, and he'll drink a thing of bottled water.
I will look at the bottled water, and I look and see what company it is and all that kind of stuff. And if I have a phone with me at the time, which I usually don't, Wanda does, I will Google it and see what's in the water, where the company's from, and all that kind of stuff before I even drink that water.
Yeah.
Do I fertilize bell peppers again after planting, and how long after planting? Yes, I fertilize bell peppers once every 2 weeks, the life of the plant. Peppers are heavy feeders.
Yeah. So
okay, we're at 9:06. So
is there anything else you want? We were supposed to be talking about harvesting. We talked about everything else.
we've been talking about harvesting. I've been answering questions all night about harvesting.
About harvesting, when to harvest. Do you have limestone?
No, there's no limestone here at all. You have to buy it if you want it here.
Have you tried Dandy Blend? And
must be talking about your Ticino.
Yes, I have some that has dandelion in it. The one I'm drinking now is I think it's dandelion and vanilla. I can't remember, but I think that's what I'm drinking now. Mr. Ray says, remember his wife, Sandy, that has lupus.
Susie Q says, I drink decaffeinated black tea and use stevia to sweeten it, and a fresh lemon. If you drink decaffeinated anything, make sure, especially coffee, make sure it is Swiss water pressed, because if not, they use chemicals, toluene, or one of them to benzene, to extract the caffeine out, which makes the coffee extremely harmful. If you heat it up to drink it, it poisons your body. That's one thing you want to keep in mind.
Now, somebody's asked several times about the worms.
Worms are doing great. We got them here in the house. They're fixing to move them outside. It's getting warm enough now. We're getting ready to put the second tier on them. I feed them about once every 2 or 3 days. They're doing fine. They're not having any problem.
Have we considered writing a book? I have a cookbook, and Danny has 2 books. One is on sweet potatoes, and one is on English peas. They're on our Etsy store.
Yeah.
deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com.
What about distilled water? Distilled water is totally useless. It has absolutely nothing in it. I mean, nothing.
But that is the best thing to make.
If you want to make colloidal silver or something like that out of, it's perfectly fine for that. But if you're looking for water to drink to help your body be healthy, totally useless.
Ticino, it's ticino.com. Somebody had the link up in the chat, one of my moderators, and use the code word Deep South 10 or something like that, and you get a discount. But one of them will put it back up. I think it's ticino.com, and it's Deep South 10, I think is the code word. But there's a link in the description. You just click the link. If it works, it's in the description. Sometimes my links, people say they don't get them to work, but you can copy and paste.
Cul-de-sac says, pray for her dad. Had his second jab of the Moderna. Had a stroke and AFib Tuesday after he got out of the hospital. Already recovering. Never had heart problems before, but changed his prescription too. Yeah, I've heard, that ain't the first time I've heard that.
How many acres for a family of 7 do you suggest for homegrown food year-round?
20 acres.
Gemini has it up. Ticino Coffee used Deep South Homestead 10 at the checkout.
Now, you don't have to plant the whole 20 acres, but you need 20 acres if you have animals and everything together. Don't go less than 20 acres.
Yeah.
Vicky says maybe you could bottle your well water and sell it. No, if I did, then they'd find some way to say there was something wrong with it, and I'm not going to do that.
And we'd be liable.
Yeah.
Twisted Pony says prayers. Oh, she's saying prayers for cul-de-sacs. Prayers for your dad at cul-de-sac grocery garden. I see what she's saying. I got you. Mold and bacteria can grow in the cups.
Yeah, we have to wash these things real regular, especially right there in the very tip top. You got to take that little rubber thing out and clean it off, because bacteria will grow around it really bad. Well, mine's not too bad about it, I'll be honest with you, because if you don't ever put nothing but water in them, you don't have to worry about it. Now, when you start putting things like tea or anything with sweetening in it, yeah, bacteria grows in it really fast.
Chasing Rabbit says, hey, Papa, you know they had fast food back in the 1600s, right? They had to go catch it.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
They had fast food.
They had running water, too, because they tell you, run down to the creek and get me some water. Or run down to the well and get me some water. So they had running water also.
So Chasing Rabbit's planning on coming spending the night with us before long, and we're going to keep working on our kids' books. She has one and I have one, and we're working on them. We just don't have a whole lot of time. We're hoping to get that this summer done. So, what else do we have going on? Anything else?
I think not.
We're tired. We've been up. He's been up most of the night. I got up.
Yeah, the storm woke me up this morning
4?
because the storm woke me up around 1 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Literally.
I woke up at 4, I think.
Well, I let Wanda sleep till 4. But there's the worst shaking I've ever heard in my life. This was totally unnatural weather. My whole house literally shook like it was being like bombs were being exploded around, and that's something that I'd never experienced before here. And I've lived for 6 decades, and I've never experienced anything like this.
And they said them kids had a lot of running to do, didn't they? Yeah, back in the old days. Go get.
Go get.
Go do. I did that to my kids. I mean, you can ask my kids. They did. I was sending them here and there, and some of their friends came over, and I used child labor. They cleaned. They helped work. They went to do stuff.
We didn't look at our Cherokee tan, did we?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, before we get off here, let me show y'all. This is, let me see if I can get it to come up. These are the Cherokee tan pumpkins. They were 8 months old.
Yes. And I have a video, I think it's on Crazy Days, on what I did with these this past week. I took the last of the Cherokee tan pumpkins, I saved the seed, and then I baked them in the oven, sliced them up, and put them in the freeze dryer. And y'all, I'm really shocked with the Cherokee tans. They were good. I was not sure I would like it, but the cinnamon ones and brown sugar was awesome. The others had slight taste. They were okay. But then the one that I just crumbled up, I made mush out of, and I crumbled it up and rehydrated it. Man, it had nothing on it, but it was perfect. You could just sit and eat it. It was good.
Okay. We got to get off here tonight. We've still got things that we got to get done here.
Lou said, I agree. I had to check my windows because it sounded like it blew them out. We have had people on top of people say how unusual the storm was, how different it was. I think Grow Family said it was like another world storm or something like something from another world. And then Mr. John had said he even noticed the vibrations, the shaking, the weirdness. And different ones have been telling us all day it was something different. It's hard to put your finger on. Both my daughters and my sons were in an area that was under tornado warnings last night, and they spent nights in the part of the night in the shelter. I think several of them did. Shadow, thank you. Look at the 2 hurricanes hitting Australia. They have merged into one huge hurricane.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they got a name for that. That almost happened here last year.
Yeah, we had some that come close
to doing that. And that's got to make you wonder if they're not creating these things and actually steering them. Because the military made a statement years ago that by 2025, they wanted to be able to control the weather so they could use it in war. Rather than having to use weapons, they could use the weather to just starve people out.
Somebody said, thanks for the Weatherman Plus plug. They were able to get home from work and secure their tender seedlings just in time. Y'all, Mark at Weatherman Plus does a fabulous job, and he's very, very in-depth. Probably the most in-depth person I've seen yet with the weather. And that's how we knew that this weather was coming in early and knew to keep up with things.
Yeah. We have video coming up about that anyway, so... Anyway, we got to get off here tonight, guys. Thank you for putting up your prayer requests. We really appreciate that. We're going to go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we're so thankful that you've been good to us, Lord. You've given us a great week. We want to thank you that your blessed hand watched over each and every one of us through the horrendous weather that we went through. Now, some people received some minor damages, but there was very little loss of life. I know there was a couple of places that some people lost their lives. We saw one place where tornadoes just literally tore a town. Palmetto tore that place all to pieces, Father. And I think one person lost their life there, and a couple of others had some injuries. Were found out in the fields. I think some animals got killed. And Lord, we pray that you'll be with those people in that area. And we those are the ones we know about. A lot of people had a lot of large hail. Pray that they didn't get any bad damage, Lord. And Father, we know that a lot of the weather is being tampered with and trying to be modified. And we just ask that, Lord, you'll watch over your people when this kind of stuff happens, and put a umbrella of protection over each and every one of our places, Father, that these weather modifications don't harm us in any kind of way, or any of our crops or animals or homes or anything like that. No loss of life of any sort. Father, we have people on here tonight that are looking for homesteads still, and I pray that you'll help them to be able to find the right homestead, because there's something coming down the pipe, Lord, that is going to happen here pretty soon. There's going to be a housing bubble that's going to bust here pretty soon, and it's all planned. It's done by the large banks of the country, and Father, it bothers me. I mean, it really bothers me to know what's fixing to happen and how they're going to capitalize on the people who bought places, and that really is a disturbing fact right now, Father. And I pray for those that's looking for homesteads, that they can buy their homestead and they can pay cash for it, so that they're not caught up in this housing bubble thing that's fixing to be busted on purpose now. And then we have people in here tonight that's sick and has physical issues and in the hospitals and things like that. Father, we just pray for them that they can get healing for their bodies, and that they can be back to their normal self again and be an asset to their families and stuff like that, Father, and be able to do things for you, Lord, when it comes to reaching other people also. And thank you for the ones that was in the channel tonight. Thank you for those that are subscribers and that watch us. And I pray a blessing and a prayer upon each and every one of them, Lord, that they might have the blessings of obedience bestowed to them, Father, so that they might have plentiful in harvest times, and that their oil doesn't run out, Father, and that their barns are always full, and Father, they're just able to live and not be worried or scared about anything that's coming down the line toward us now. So go with us and watch over the nation, Lord. But I'm asking you to get rid of the leaders that are no good for our country, Father. Just get them out of office. I don't even want to pray for them. I just want them out of office. I need them to be removed. In the name of Christ, I pray that you'll remove them. Remove their wicked and evil ways from us, Lord, and help us to be able to fall on our knees as a nation again and seek you, Father, before it's everlasting too late. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Okay.
Let's see. Trying to. Wormwood is getting closer to gravitational pull.
I agree with that. Sally, I agree with that.
Amanda said she just ordered some of Miss Lippy's spices. Can't wait
Good
to try
deal.
them.
Good deal.
God controls the weather.
Yeah, Fujiwara. That's the effect of 2 hurricanes. That's right. I couldn't think of that name a while ago for nothing in the world, but it's a Fujiwara.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for dropping in and spending some time with us. And I don't know, do we even have any videos for this? Oh, the weather.
Yeah, we got one about the weather coming.
Monday, and then
Monday.
porch time, whatever he comes up with.
We got porch time, and
that's it.
That's about as far as we are right now.
I'm done. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna fish. No, I don't know. I did a greenhouse update on my channel sometime on Crazy Days this past week. Things are growing very fast. So sometime middle to the end of the week, I'll do another update.
We're gonna be planting a lot of stuff this coming week if the weather permits.
Yeah.
And we may do some videos on what we're planting.
Yeah. I have 3 or 4 little clips that I thought about just throwing together. None of them go together. I don't know how y'all feel about that kind of stuff. They're little clips that most of them are less than 3 to 4 minutes, and I thought, well, why not throw them all in one video and put them up just this and that?
Yeah.
We may do that one
Well,
day
we may
this
even
week.
cut back on our videos in the near future because really we're not getting that many views. If we're doing something controversial, we get a lot of views. But if we're actually trying to help people by showing them how we plant and all this kind of stuff, the views just aren't there. People are just not interested.
The freeze dryer, they're not interested in. Anything
Yeah.
I do with the freeze dryer, the views just go down. And I'm not wasting my time making videos if nobody cares, you know. So probably 1 or 2 more freeze dryer videos, and they may be on Crazy Days. I'll show people that are interested on Crazy Days what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's why I did the Cherokee tan over there. I don't think people really care. I did the candy one, and nobody cared, you know. And if we do a review, and we do a lot of reviews, just so that you know.
Well, I know we got one
works.
more review coming up next week we're going to do.
Yeah.
We got one I know we're going to do.
And we probably won't do a whole lot of reviews for a long time because that just doesn't seem to go over very well. I mean, we show you what we like, and we will still be mentioning like Hoss Tools and our grower solution and things like that. It's not that we're doing reviews for them all the time. We use these things.
Yeah, these are stuff we use.
This is what we use.
Yeah.
And people act like we're a commercial because we mention Hoss Tools a lot or we mention Grower Solution, but these are things we use. Dr. Bloom, Dr. Earth.
Dr. Earth. Golden Bloom, Dr. Earth. We use that a lot.
We get nothing if you order from them.
Yeah, we don't get anything from it.
Grower Solution, we get nothing if you order from them.
Yeah,
but you get a discount.
Yeah, I mean, we make deals with these companies. We don't get anything from it.
Hoss Tools, now we do get a small amount from Hoss Tools if you order from them. That's one we do.
Yeah, but that's such a small amount that we hardly
Harvest Right, yeah. The freeze dryer, if you order a freeze dryer, now we do get a on it, and My Patriot Supply, we do. Ticino, I might make $50 all year long. You know, I mean, just saying, I don't make that much on it.
No.
I do it because I love Ticino, and it's something I love. And if you guys want to help support in that way, I feel like you know that's fine.
Yeah.
But most of the items we are affiliates with are things we use.
We use every day.
We just put it down in the description, and if you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way we look at it, but we get a lot of people throwing temper tantrums because they feel like we're a commercial. And I'm sorry if that's what we feel like, but I like to be able to show you what I like to use, you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, we got to get off of here. We got lots of stuff left to do before it's get close to 9:30. So, guys, we really appreciated y'all tonight, and thank you for coming into our live stream and sharing this time with us. And I do pray that tonight we was able to help some of you by answering some of your questions. That's what we love to do. And may the Lord bless each and every one of you, and may you have a safe next couple of days, because we got more rain coming even this coming week. So just try to stay safe out there and do the best you can about trying to get what you can planted, because it is very important. We're struggling with getting some things planted, but
we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out.
And if we're having to figure it out, I know y'all are figuring it out too.
Yeah.
It takes, things are just different.
Yeah. So
the weather, everything.
See you guys in the next video.